Welcome to Keeper Secrets Tarot. I am Gypsy Girl, here to bring you another reading for Scorpio. And this is, how could I put this? It is a reading for the month of Scorpio, the month of November, but we are on the 15th of November when I do this reading. So it's a mid-month read. It is the overall of the month. But the special part of this reading is it's about releasing what needs to be released in sense of what we've accumulated over the past months, coming down to the end of the year, if you will, and we are struggling for some, we are achieving for others, and we are finding our way for others again. So depending on how you take this read, it will be one of those. Either you're releasing, or you're achieving, or you're searching. Here I see this Seven of Swords showing itself, and yeah, we need to make a new path. We need to find our path, or we need to let go of a path. Here we have another sword, which is a victory sword. So coming into 8 swords, a mindset. And then I see the 8 swords show itself here behind the 7. So that mindset, turning it into a 9 of swords, going through the anguish and anxiety that we may have been experiencing prior to November, or just even the beginning of November. It really depends on how you see this, Scorpio. I see here we have the 9 of Pentacles, so another completion is on its way. A sense of solitary, I wouldn't say confinement, but wanting to be in that solitary mode and really recognizing what you have to offer, or choosing to go on your own and just settle in with what you've done over the past month or the past 6 months, if you want to go that far back. But it is a completion here. Here we see the Fool, and sorry, I say the Fool. Interesting. This is the Hangman. So when I see the Fool in this, it is because it is a new prospect, a new perspective, wanting to gather up and take that faith that we've accumulated through the work that we've done. We want to move into something new, but we're being held. We're being held, Scorpio, to have that sense of focus and to really keep in check our emotions. Again, going back to the 8 of Swords that became the 9 of Swords, coming into the 9 of Pentacles. And here we have the 8 of Cups at the bottom of the deck. So thinking about how you feel about relationships in general, one particular relationship you may be dealing with that you feel that you must leave or you want to reconcile. Again, it's a question of taking time for yourself with that 9 of Pentacles. And then we see here we have the Knight of Pentacles and the 6 of Wands. So a slow process in acquiring victory, wanting that attention, but moving slowly in order to get it. Feeling like how I'm feeling with this reading right now. It just seems really slow, like everything is slowed down. I thank you, Scorpio, for your likes, your shares, and most of all for showing up. Again, it's a question of what we need to release is where this reading is prone to go. and how we go about releasing. I see more cards wanting to talk here. Have the Temperance card, so healing, and maybe healing integrity, maybe healing that feeling of I've tried too hard to attain something, or I've broken my spokes, or I've broken someone else's spokes by pushing them away, or pushing them to do a little the overbearing side. We want to heal that. And it could be within the self where you push yourself too hard, that you need to heal on that side of you. Again, it is looking into the darkness and paying attention to how you feel, Scorpio, and how you may have had an effect on other people, or in particular one person, depending on your situation. You're going to see there's a change and there's a release that is going to happen if it hasn't already happened. Here we see our Hermit, again, the 9, going into that solitude, going in to take time for the self, so that we can really pay attention to what we've done and the effects that we've had on other people, and what we've done and the effects that we've had on ourselves, what we've brought upon ourselves, or what we have achieved, or what we need to release. I thank you, Spirit, for protecting and keeping the collective safe, for protecting me, keeping me safe. Today I am using the Stained Glass Tarot by James Edward. I felt I had to bring it back. It could be just that I'm going through that Saturn retrograde, and I'm going over the energy that I'm calling into question today. And I feel like I need to use this deck because the energy that I'm calling is for release. And the reason that I'm doing that, and I'm going to put this deck down for a second. The reason I'm doing that is because of this deck, the Seasons of the Witch, Samhain Oracle. It is basically for November, the allowing of the darkness to open up and teach us through the tarot. And this is an oracle deck, so I'm bringing this deck in to help us see what we need to release. Again, we're asking the darkness to help us find the light when we do this read today. And this is for the month of November. I'm going to be doing all the signs with this particular deck for November, because it is a releasing month. It is where we need to see deep within what we need to release. This is Seasons of the Witch by Lorraine and Juliet Diaz. And just wanted to shuffle. And I've also brought in the Moonology Manifestation Oracle deck, or Oracle cards. This one is by Yasmin, Boland. And basically she is giving us all the phases of the moon. But in particular, we're focusing again on what we can release and how we're manifesting whatever it is that we want to come into our lives. And what do we want to reflect off of as the psychology of the moon, because this is going deep within our feelings and how we can let go of what we need to let go. And this is one card that wants to show itself. It's the first quarter moon in Capricorn. And we're being asked, Scorpio, to unleash your kindest self. And again, relating to Capricorn, Saturn, today is Saturday when I do the read. the 15th, and again it is the number for Saturn as well. The Devil card is reflected in here, and unleashing our kindest self in the first quarter moon. I will take this card. I'll put it here for now. I want to do the read with the first quarter moon because it came out, because I'm only choosing the one card, as well as only one card, but I won't take this card yet. This one, it came out, so I'm taking it. Here we see first quarter. See, the energies of the first quarter cards reveal where you're being challenged and how to use the obstacles arising as springboards to where you want to be. So releasing, again, unleashing, releasing, unleashing your kindest self is where we're looking at for the moon energy. Now you can always look up where the next first quarter moon in Capricorn will be. That's pretty easy to find on Google. But for the oracle in itself, we'll read a little bit on what it is here, as they say from Yasmin. Are you being too hard on yourself or someone else? Do you think you need to be strict with yourself or other people to get where you want to go? Your challenge now is to be disciplined in terms of doing what needs to be done to get what you want without sucking all the joy out of it. Feeling good about life is one of the most powerful tools you have when it comes to manifesting. So be kind and be your most charming self. That you might want to hold on to, Scorpio. All right, I won't read about how to do manifestation because, again, this is all about releasing. So we'll set these cards over here since I've already pulled it. And what I'll do is I'll set it up over here. And I know it's visible at some point, but there, we'll leave it like that so you can see it. Okay. My space is super, super tight. Now, traditional, again, I'm so traditional. Traditional spreads is what I want to use, but today this is a little different. I'm pulling the cards as they pop, and we have the Knight of Wands, Queen of Swords, and this is all about you, Scorpio. So it's we're not looking for other people in this read. We're looking at you, yourself, how you reflect, what you need to let go of, how you are letting go of, and what, again, the challenge is to be your kindest self, to pull the reins back on being strict with yourself, being strict with others, being hard on yourself. Let's see where the cards bring us here. So again, this Knight of Wands is that fiery passion that you're known to have. And we're still seeing on the bottom of the deck our Nine of Pentacles. Here we have our Queen of Swords. So being true and being honest with what you're passionate about and being patient so that you can get the best of or best out of. And again, reflecting on your kindness within yourself, because she's fair, she's honest, and she's patient. And it's a question of being patient with yourself. And the Three of Swords, being able to forgive yourself and others, being able to open up and recognize where you've been hurt or who you've hurt, and letting yourself have that conversation within, first with yourself, and then to reach out for the next person if that is what you feel you want to do, or you want to think about how you will approach the next person if that is what you want to do. And of course, I started off saying this is about you, so that self-healing, that self-talk, being able to speak to your own wounds, being able to comfort yourself and pick yourself up if it is that you feel that you need to move on something, or pick up from where you left off, because we have the Three of Pentacles, work that was done in the past with other people. Being able to reflect on how you affected them or how they affected you, because we see our Queen of Wands here, the innovator, the queen that is determined to move forward. Here we see we're coming from the Knight and we're moving forward toward the Queen of Wands. We still have a couple more cards showing. I'm just going to take them here. We have the King of Pentacles. So being able to have that leadership come forward, that sense of strength and responsibility, and really feeling at home with how you feel and with the steps that you're wanting to take. Now remember, you've been thinking a lot, to the point where you're remembering where you've been and what was done and how you have come to feel what you feel. And if you're being asked to unleash your kindest self, it's because there's a strictness that was overbearing. There was either your superiors or you yourself were putting yourself under a lot of pressure, or maybe where you work, because you've been given a sense of recognition, or you will receive. And this is where you want to move forward into achieving the goal. Whatever that goal is for you, you will come into it, because you're going from Knight to Queen to King. Now, King of Pentacles says that he has a plan that he's manifested and is putting in the works, and it is working. And here we see our Ace of Cups. So he's really thinking, and I say he, the energy is masculine because it is taking charge, is being in control. Take a few more here. See, we have the Ace of Cups saying that I'm thinking about myself. Again, with the Four Swords here, that's self-talk. And we have our Five of Wands, a little indecisive, but that's because he takes his time, our King of Pentacles. He takes his time as to making decisions and moving on them. She's very innovative and she moves quickly. So the process of getting things done is, as we say, hit the ground running. The plan is formulated so that that pace can move quickly. Here we have the Five of Wands. So we're going from the Pentacles to the Wands to show that we are action oriented, and what we want to manifest will come true if we put our minds to it. What we want to release will be released. What we want to share, we will be open and able to share. We will have the means to do so. Here we have the King of Cups. So that sense of devotion, we're going again from the Wands to the Pentacles to the Cups now, because we have our King of Cups with our Ace of Cups to show that we really are into having a commitment, but we're still not decided. We haven't chosen yet what it is we want to be committed to. See here the Nine of Swords. So we come back to the swords where we're reflecting. We're taking that time. Again, the King of Pentacles takes his time. The King of Cups really is devoted to the cause, wanting to overcome, wanting to move past, wanting to release, wanting to set a commitment in motion, but very concerned, very concerned. And here we have one more card. Let me see, we have 3, 6, 9, 11. So we have the Empress, and then we have at the bottom of the deck our 9. So this, in the end of the day, I've taken 12, I think. 3, 6, 9, and the last card make 12. Perfect. The 9 of Swords brings us back to that reflection, because this is moving forward. How we're going toward the end of the month. You will have that overall sense of, okay, I need time for myself. I need to reflect. With our Empress here, you're ready to share, because that's what she does. It's our Queen of Pentacles on a higher level, and being able to reflect on what needs to be released, you will be successful in doing just that, Scorpio. All right, let's see what the Oracle will offer as what is to be released from Scorpio. What does Scorpio need to really let go of? Because we see the 9 of Swords here. We see the 3 of Swords. Again, your situation reflects that. It's just third parties. It's betrayal. We saw the 7 of Swords earlier. And having that plan manifest. I want to take care of myself. I want to do for myself. We see the Ace of Cups in this little layout I have here. Make sure you see it. The Ace of Cups, where you have a plan and you want to make sure that you do reflect into what you want and how you are going to take care of yourself. And you will find a way to let go, because at the end you have the 9 of Pentacles. So coming toward the end of the month, you will feel that sense of, yeah, I need to be on my own, or I want to take time for myself. These cards are kind of thick. Here we go. I have them upside down. Sorry, Scorpio. They're all upside down. The third harvest. See we here, what needs to be released is where we're asking. Daughters of the woods, feel thy sacred swell with suppleness. Taste the gathering of honey's milk, filling your emptiness. Let's see what that says. 38. It's all about what you need to release, my dear Scorpio. 38. Having trouble finding it. It's toward the end. There we go. So the Samhain served as a practical holiday that told our ancestors to prepare for the coming of winter. The third harvest was a time to gather up the remainder of crops, to prepare and store them, to have enough food to last the harsh conditions. The last of the wheat would be ground into flour, the remains of fruits and vegetables would be pickled and canned, and meat salted. Everything with shelf life was stored in underground cellars and packed with ice. Though winters might be harsh and gathering up our food is hard work, there is a feeling of abundance and pride in getting prepared. Imagine looking at your food stores and seeing a physical representation of your work. Imagine seeing the abundant rewards of planting your seeds and nourishing them as they grow. We are lucky that we no longer have to face these conditions in the modern world. Refrigerators and grocery stores make it easy for us to have food all year long. Perhaps that is why the overall idea of preparation is no longer as important to us. So if you're holding the third harvest, that's what you got, you are being guided to gather up your accomplishments, to celebrate your wins. Take a look at everything you've done and achieved. Make a store of these wins and come back to whenever you are feeling low or like you failed. The easiest way to attract your abundance is to feel abundant. Having this stockpile of feel-good moments will kickstart you and can help turn around feelings of lack or stagnation. And there it is, going over all that you've had happen to you with that Three of Swords, and really being able to forgive with our Temperance card that we saw at the beginning, starting with yourself, being patient with yourself, Scorpio, is to remind you that you are capable, that you have been doing. The Nine of Pentacles here is really to say that you did do good stuff. If you're feeling like you didn't, like you have that sense of low, where it's depression, I'm not good enough, or I hurt so many people, or so many people hurt me. Take it as it resonates on the level of not feeling good, or going deep within the darkness and really looking at what was. Remember that you've done good work. You're quite capable. You have the queens with you. You went from a knight to a king, all in a span of months, and it could be for years for some of you, where you've had that folly of freedom and always knocking into walls with responsibility, and now you're finding that you're able to hold your ground with a responsible response to the past, if it's not further back than the month of November, because I don't want to go too deep. But that self-love is where your kindest self will be unleashed, where you give yourself, you take for you now, Scorpio, because you're quite capable and you're victorious in that. You've been victorious. You've been given some form of recognition, whether you've shifted up in your place of work, or in your circle of friends, or within the family. You've been given some form of recognition, and you have to remember that you have. And you have to see that where you're deliberating within the self or with others on what you're devoted to, because we see that with our king here. At the end of the day, the queen, our empress, is coming out strong, and you have earned it. You have earned the title of empress, man or woman here. You're facing your responsibilities. You've stepped up. You will step up. If you're not feeling like you have, you will. And it's a question of unleashing the kindness that you have, and you know that you have inside of you. On that note, I'm going to call you Capricorn. It's because of the moon in Capricorn, the first quarter moon in Capricorn, where the doors are opening up for you. Scorpio, I thank you again for your likes, your subscribes, and your shares. Until our next read, love and light.